green, sometimes blue. I'm guilty. I'm guilty. I'm guilty. I'm guilty. And you're guilty too. Guilty too. I'll tell you something, something new. You ain't nothing, nothing true. You're killing me, I'm killing you. I'm guilty too. One, two, three, I found you out so easily. One, two, three, I found in you what I found in me. The time is wrong, the time is right. Be careful who you kill tonight. And I'm melting, and I'm melting, and I'm melting, and I'm melting. I'm melting in you. And you're guilty too. One and one makes three. One and one, why don't you see? I'm killing you, you're killing me. Can't you set me free? Inside out, I can't describe it. What you do to me. Inside out, I cannot hide it. Looking right through me. Now I've reached the living end. Putting fingers to defend. And I'm guilty. And I'm guilty. And I'm guilty. And I'm guilty. And you're guilty too. Guilty too. I'll tell you something, something new. You ain't nothing, nothing true. You're killing me, I'm killing you. I'm guilty too. Okay, everybody, welcome on in. This is Dwayne Cates, also known as Soul War, and that is Guilty by Gravity Kills. Guilty. Some people are guilty and some people are not. We're going to find out who's who. So, welcome on in to today's episode of Thunderdome. It's Friday. We made it to Friday. Oh my God. And yes, this is Kung Fu June. We are in the smack dab in the middle of Kung Fu June. I am actually live on YouTube. I didn't expect it to work, but it is. So, welcome in anybody that happens to be watching me on YouTube right now. Apparently, I'm live on YouTube and on Rumble and on X. So welcome on in. I'm going to make sure that I. Wow! Okay, going to make sure that I did go live on Rumble. Yes. Okay, I did. It's Kung Fu June. Okay, yeah. I got that off of the USA channel back in the mid 90s. For several years, they would have matinee movies during the day, and they would actually call it Kung Fu June, and it was hilarious. And I always remembered that. Okay, I'm probably not going to get away with playing Gravity Kills on YouTube, so they're gonna go ahead and mute the whole stream. Oops, didn't mean to do that, but oh well. I'll work it out. I'll figure it out somehow. But it looks like I've got Rumble Studio up and running, and in the future I may be able to do my chill flights using Lo-Fi Girl from. You know what? I just occurred to me. Lo-Fi Girl has a Rumble channel. I'm a complete moron. Hey, let me go ahead and take a quick look at today's headline for Thunderdome before I continue to distract myself. President Trump heads to Camp David. What? Okay. Prepare for the rope-a-dope. You have to appreciate this. In the same vein that a lot of people are now revealing themselves inadvertently by the exposure of Restore Britain's uh, their rape gang inquiry report, and this has absolutely exposed a malevolent force within Great Britain called the legacy media of Great Britain. Okay, it has exposed them. It is unmercifully exposing them right now. In the same vein, hello to people over on YouTube that are saying hello. Hello to everybody watching on Rumble. Hello to everybody watching on X. Let me do a quick roll call here on Rumble. Rumble's where my best chat is found right now because I'm able to monitor it instantly with this platform I'm using, which is Rumble Studio. Mater, hello. You're always here early, Mater. Do you ever leave my chat? I'm just curious. Razor Sharp, welcome in. Annie Oakley, also known as Harmonious Magpie, welcome in. Monopulent. Commander Kim, Linda is here. Thousand Air, welcome in, Thousand Air. JB Rawl is also here. Mike, hello, Mike. Hope you're not like anybody notices you're at work. Hello, Mike. Good, glad to see you. There's Barbara, BSA 60. Welcome in, Caucasian Pinata. Let's see, and any Katarn. Hello, Katarn. And just jumping down, jumping down, jumping down. Okay. And yeah, it used to be my Twitch chat was the best, but then I had an unfortunate experience on Twitch, and now it's Rumble. Lunch break, excellent, Mike. Okay, it's really important now. The point I was making a moment ago is in the same vein that the vile British media is exposing itself for deliberately and studiously ignoring the Restore Britain Rape Gang Inquiry Report. In the same vein as that, what Donald Trump just did with Iran is also bringing all the usual suspects to the yard to bitch, piss, and moan. And they're very angry. People need to understand that there are many people who professed to want peace when actually they wanted something else. Okay, they did not want peace. And what President Trump just did today and is now moved to Camp David, what I want you to pay attention to over the next 72 hours is all of the people that are losing their fucking minds because he accomplished a peace without a major Iraq Bush era style invasion of Iran. Okay, which is what they had, and I use this word very specifically, banked on. They had banked on that. And now Not only has he pulled their nuclear fangs, he has also now made a peace, which, as my old Scottish grandfather would say, does them nae good for their warmongering. And they're very upset because a major fire in the form of the Iranian people and the Iranian government that has been used in that region for 47 years as a regional threat, as what was professed to be a rogue regime, has actually turned out it was a proxy regime all along. That's how you go and you find that there is $55 billion in properties and assets in London billionaires row owned by the Khomeini family. Now, I just want to wonder out loud, how in the absolute fuck could a family of the Iranian mullahs have that amount of wealth socked away and nobody knew about it? Well, the answer is, of course, that the idea that nobody knew about it is patently ridiculous. When I tell you that Iran was a proxy regime, and then you find $55 billion in properties and assets on London's Billionaires Row, how hard is it to do that math? Well, the answer is it's not hard at all. And as this becomes more and more apparent, what Donald Trump is revealing, uncovering, and exposing since he launched his Iranian strikes on March 1st of this year, he is showing you uh, who and what was actually holding the Straits of Hormuz hostage for 47 years, using it as a pawn on a chessboard, using the United States Navy until last year. Let me say that, actually, until this year. Until this year, until March of this year, the United States Navy was the enforcement arm of Lloyd's of London and City of London in their insurance racket on the Straits of Hormuz. You have to have insurance to move anything through. They were controlling and holding a literal knife at the throat of the world's energy. And they were controlling it via this insurance racket, Straits of Hormuz, and the rogue regime in Iran. This is what Trump has revealed. This is what Trump has revealed. And he did this by killing all of the fanatics, the Armageddonists who were in charge of Iran, that were puppets of whoever was controlling this puppet regime. He killed those people. He killed them. He killed them. Okay. And you have to understand, this is a template. This is the same thing he did in Afghanistan with the Taliban. Hey, that rhymes. It's the same thing he did with the Taliban in Afghanistan. Man, he killed them until he found people that were willing to be reasonable and speak on behalf of the Afghan people through the Taliban. Now, the Afghan government was absolutely a diseased, broken hooker that would work and basically could be bought off by anybody in the region. Iran, Pakistan, Russia, China. It was a no-go. We couldn't leave the Afghan government in charge of Afghanistan. We would find ourselves right back at square one very shortly. Yes, I have. Best is yet to come. I'm going to cover that in a minute. Okay, but so we ended up making a deal with the Taliban, and the Biden State Department on their way out gave us Abbey Gate. If you know what Abbey Gate is, don't think that Donald Trump is through with Abbey Gate. He's not. You're going to be seeing action and accountability for that atrocity this year, I predict. Okay, so he killed all of the people that were preventing peace, and then he and the surviving Taliban, about 10 out of 1 out of 10, because he killed 90% of the top leadership. He did in 2 weeks. Everybody seems to forget that. And then the surviving heroes amongst the Taliban sat down in Doha after having handpicked their the replacements of the dead guys, and then made peace in Doha. And they held the peace, even though Abbey Gate happened, which was a deliberate attempt to upset everything that killed hundreds of Afghan civilians and 13 of our bravest. Okay, which again, Abbey Gate, in case you're not squaring that with me, understand Abbey Gate was a deliberate terrorist atrocity, and it was fomented by Biden's State Department. That ISIS K bomber was deliberately let out to do what he did, and he was shepherded because there was a sniper team, a Marine sniper team, that had that asshole in their sights, and they were denied permission to fire. They were denied position to fire because that asshole was being shepherded to the maximum premium spot for detonation to ruin a Trump victory and the pullout of Afghanistan. Because there's a bunch of fucking warmongering neocons, part of what my brother calls a global crime syndicate, that are absolutely bound to determine that peace will never prevail, because peace does them nay good. Okay? And now, getting back, because I went off on a tangent, because Abbey Gate always infuriated me. People have no fucking idea how angry I am. Okay? That angers me. With regards to Iran, what you're about to witness over the next 72 hours is a lot of people are going to expose themselves, and they're going to be saying, not that kind of peace. This isn't the kind of, no, this isn't the peace we wanted. There are people that are spreading rumors about what the peace that Donald Trump just made isn't peace at all. It's a ridiculous sellout of the American people. Donald Trump, oh God, Donald Trump, the deal maker, the peacemaker, doesn't know what he's doing. He sold us out to Iran. Oh God, it's over, it's over. You watch over the next 72 hours, you're going to see people coming out, and they're going to be frantic. And I just want you to understand, what they're really pissed off about is peace itself. They wanted a war. They wanted a protracted war on Iran, and Trump didn't give it to them. Trump brokered peace. He did have to go kinetic. As I've said this before, and I'm going to say this again. I've said this before. I will say this in the future. Donald Trump, he's a master of economic warfare. A master. And he brought his economic capability to bear on Iran almost from the minute he was inaugurated last year. And he has been absolutely economically waging war and wrecking both the hidden master of Iran's proxy state, the Islamic Revolution, okay, and Iran itself. He's been financially absolutely bodying them. And last year, of course, was Operation Midnight Hammer, where he pulled their nuclear fangs and actually removed their status, the reality of there being a regional threat. All he left them was the level of threat was still regional, but it was much less, because now their capability of imminent nuclear capability was, in essence, sabotaged. And then they started working on their missile systems and their drones to build up a shield, if you will, to allow them to finally rebuild and then complete their nuclear ambitions. And Trump said, no, I can't allow that. Okay, so what people need to understand, Operation Midnight Hammer absolutely reduced the imminent level of threat. And then he worked on them economically until March of this year when he began his Iran strikes, which was basically to remove the Armageddonist fanatics, especially the people at the tippy top of the Iranian government who were not going to be reasonable and were not going to be made to see reason. All they would do is they would use any form of negotiation to simply play for time until they could launch a nuclear attack on Israel or the world. Okay, Donald Trump saw right through it. He saw right through it. And in March, his Iran strikes began. And understand, from all of the people, both Bibi Netanyahu and his faction, and a lot of people who have been trying to push Trump from day one to go ahead and commit to a large Bush era invasion of Iran, just like we invaded Iraq. Okay, they've been pushing for him to go in big, go in hard, go in, for years, and just turn Iran into another forever war battlefield. And Donald Trump refused to do that, even though everybody was pressuring him to do so. He found an alternative means to bring about peace. He did, and his plan succeeded despite all the naysaying. And now the people who weren't just, hemming and hawing and trying to say, well, I don't know if this is going, now you watch. Over the next 72 hours, you're going to have people come out. Some of them are going to surprise you. It's going to surprise you. They're going to come out and they're going to literally be jumping up and down and screaming how upset they are that peace has broken out between the United States of America and Iran. Oh, this does them nay good. They didn't, no, not that kind of peace. Okay, the peace that doesn't feed the beast, the peace that doesn't feed the machine of war. You remember the Forever Wars? You remember that? We have forever endless printing, endless wars, endless diseases churned out of their labs. Hey, look at what Tulsi just dropped. Okay, all of this endless. Well, Donald Trump just put a serious monkey wrench in their endless wars by ostensibly putting out this fire in the Middle East. What's left in the Middle East? I mean, there's always factions and fanatics and so on and so forth, but many of the nation states, the Arabic nation states, I often said, go back and look at May of last year when Donald Trump visited Saudi Arabia again, this time as a returning president. He visited Qatar. He visited United Arab Emirates. Look at the way they rolled out the red carpet, the way that they had their families with their girls uncovered, swinging their hair like he was some sort of Arabic hero. And I was saying, what the fuck is going on here? What? I mean, they're treating him like they won a war or something. Like he won a war for them or something. And we were like, what the hell's going on here? Okay, well, I think we're getting a clue now that a lot of what you're seeing actually was completed a year ago on the down low, and you're only finding out about it now. It's like I've said, most people do not understand what the Gulf Cooperation Council actually is. They mocked Trump when he opened. Well, remember 2017, his first state visit was to Saudi Arabia, where he stood in front of that Palantir-like orb, that globe. Remember that? With the presidents of Egypt and the king of Saudi Arabia, with Melania looking on, just looking pleased like she'd just eaten a canary. the cat who eaten the canary. Just go look at those pictures of how she was beaming, and they're putting their hands on that globe and opening up what was the name of that thing? What was the name of it? Oh yeah, it was the Global Center to Combat Ideological Extremism. Boy, that's a mouthful. Let me say that again. They opened up a center that was going to be the heart of a counterterrorism operation against ISIS and all ideological extremism, based out of Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, but it's also global. It has an office in DC. It has an office in every major city in Europe. It is the the global center to combat ideological extremism. And Donald Trump was there, and all of the press and all the media made fun of him for holding up and that glowing orb. They just mocked him. Have you seen those memes where they put Christopher Lee as Saruman from Peter Jackson's Lord of the Rings? They actually issued out a meme showing, Christopher Lee holding his staff, like looking on as Trump, President Assisi, and the King of Saudi Arabia were opening up that center, because to them it was a joke. It was a joke to them. I wonder why they aren't laughing today. They're not laughing today. They seem rather upset. Yeah, they're upset now. They're very upset that Donald Trump has managed to untie another Gordian knot. Donald Trump has managed to untie another Gordian knot that nobody thought possible. Hey there, Texas Grandma and Brian. Welcome in, Brian Murphy, and holy smokes. So, Cedar Creek Golden, I see you there. And the best is yet to come. Yeah, so there's a lot going on. The D class is here pretty much. Somebody wanted to point out, hold on, let me go ahead and pull it up because I like the way you phrased it. This was the best is yet to come. John Solomon of Just the News has stepped away from Just the News for, I was either 2 weeks or 2 months, so that he is going to be able to work unobstructed, helping review the documents that are about that are about to be shown to the American people. Now, I want people to understand something. When I talk about when you hear the words D class, what's Dan Bongino panicking? I have no idea. I'll have to look that up. So that's the second time you post. What's Dan Bongino panicking about? I don't know. Who knows what evil lurks in the hearts of men? The shadow knows. Okay, so, but it's important people understand. I want to focus on D class. So you've heard, and remember, Q told you, if you've read the drops, you have more than you know. One of the things the legacy media likes to do is pretend that you have everything and that you know what's going on. And then they play into that to misdirect you. They play into it to misdirect you. Let me give you 2 examples. Okay? So you've heard a lot about the servers, like Hillary's server, or the server, whatever, whichever server that was, and you heard it was pay for play. And then you heard that James Comey declined to prosecute Hillary Clinton, even though, it was very obvious that she had done something. She'd done a very significant national security boo-boo. Let me just explain that from the entire tenure of Hillary Clinton as Secretary of State, this nation had no national security. There was no national security because the Russians and the Chinese were literally reading her mail before she was. Yep. So it's important people understand. So when you're told that Joe Biden had aliases for his surreptitious communications, and that President Obama lied and said he didn't know anything about Hillary's server and he never communicated with her on it, that was a lie. By the way, they proved he lied and that he was working or communicating with Hillary and the people on that server using aliases. Now you need to understand what I'm talking about. So when it comes to now, I have a theory because people talk about the soccer ball. What was in the soccer ball? Um, all I'm going to say about that is that President Trump is actually a progenitor of BRICS. If you know what BRICS is, most people when they hear that, when I was saying that 4 years ago, they were like, "You're out of your mind." BRICS is a rival to Trump. BRICS is a rival. No, they're not. We have an understanding with both Russia and China. It's called the Sovereign Alliance. And we're removing a hidden empire, a hidden royal and banking bloodline group of despotic, demonic actually, oligarchs that have been ruling this world from the shadows. When it comes to the soccer ball, as far as I'm concerned, the soccer ball was symbolic. The reason that was handed over is soccer is a team sport. But people, you say that and they go, no, there must have been something in that soccer ball. That might even be true. But for me, it's very clear that Putin was offering Trump a spot on the team. That's the whole point. And look, here's FIFA. Hey, FIFA's happening. And suddenly Trump moves to Camp David after achieving peace in the Middle East, which was never thought possible. Weird, right? Okay, back to my point. Okay, when it comes to Gmail and Eric Schmidt, former CEO of Google, he helped set up surreptitious forms or lines of communication between all of these conspirators because, again, my brother has pointed out, you can't arm ISIS, or even you cannot create and arm ISIS. You can't plan COVID. You can't plan to unseat Trump using COVID. You can't do all the nefarious shit these people are doing on official government email channels. You can't. You can't. So if you're going to be setting up the arming of ISIS through Benghazi, okay, you have to have a hidden secret communications network. And that was provided by Eric Schmidt, CEO of Google, on these servers. So you know all about the server. Hell, Donald Trump's talked about it. Okay, but people they misunderstand. They think, oh, it was just Hillary being, Hillary pay for play. It's just bribery and getting rich and cashing in. Oh no. Oh no, 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 no. There was a hell of a lot more to it. These people were planning the rise of ISIS. How many people were murdered by ISIS, by the way? These people were helping coordinate with Soleimani a new wave of terror to help fund and fuel their forever wars. Because I keep telling you, the mullahs were a proxy regime. Okay? That's what the Epstein files showed you. Those were the people that were actually running the world through all the various intelligence agencies on behalf of demonic banking and royal bloodlines. Okay? So these people needed a surreptitious communications network by which, so what they would do is they'd get on Gmail, they would all be connected. Have you ever shared your screen at work? These people would use sharing software. And on Gmail, they would be typing shit out, okay? But it's a Gmail draft, and they're monitoring each other's screens, each other's Gmails, and they're watching what they're typing. This is how they were communicating. This is what D-Class is going to show. And these fucking morons were coordinating and setting up the biolabs, which is COVID, which killed how many of us? Oh, just go ahead and talk about this on COVID alone. How many of you know somebody, a relative, that's died as a result of the COVID era, that has had a relative develop cancer, has lost a child? How many people, how many of your lives were put on hold for 2 years? How much have you lost? Hey, Mischief, how much have you lost just to that alone? And then you're going to be able to read, because this is what the D class is going to do. You're going to be able to read these fucking people: Obama, Hillary, Brennan, Comey. They're all in those comms coordinating with one another on how they're going to stop Trump, and they're going to coordinate the release of a new pathogen to stop him, to get those mail in ballots that they desperately need to unseat him and push him out of DC. What do you think that's going to do to people when they hear okay? And you have to understand, these people were convinced. Okay, so they're in their Gmail, and they're sharing screens like software, and you're able to see that. You're able to see what they're typing, and they type the Gmail draft because they never send it, because that would be a record, they think. They're typing it out. Okay, we're going to coordinate here. You do this. We're sending these personnel. Here's the U.S. Ambassador, Christopher Stevens. He's arriving such, and so on. And this is what we need him to do. Okay, they're coordinating all of that shit. I've said this before. I'm going to say it again. One of the things that woke me up was the rise of ISIS, when an Iraqi military unit abandoned its equipment, its tanks, its Humvees, its heavy weapons, and ran away. Do you remember that? Do you remember that basically ISIS overnight became the most well-armed terror army in the world overnight, because an Iraqi army suddenly I got really scared. They got really scared, everybody, even though they outnumbered ISIS 10-1. And they ran away. And then ISIS swooped in and picked up and manned all the weapons and equipment and proceeded to go on a 21-day murder and rape caravan for 21 days. 21 days of pure butchery. I've talked about what that did to me. I'm a little more attentive and intuitive than most people. I'm very well read in history. And I'm hearing that an Iraqi, didn't make sense at the time, but let me tell you, I understand what the fuck happened now. Okay. At the time, I was mystified. Why? Who? Apparently, they were called on the phone and they got really scared because somebody said, hey, we might have people outside your family's home. And the officers of the Iraqi army got really scared and they decided to leave. And then they got the troops, like when they saw the officers leave, then they left. Only they didn't just retreat and go back to bivouac. They literally left their tanks and their vehicles and their weapons, and they went back on foot or in a number of vehicles, like in trucks. But they left the hardware behind them. It's taken several years, but they were arming ISIS through Benghazi. Basically, they dropped a shit ton of weapons into Libya to destabilize it and get rid of Gaddafi. Mission accomplished. But then some of these Arab people, they went back on their word and they started using Stinger missiles on U.S. forces in Afghanistan. Extortion 17, anybody? Oh, no, that was not a lucky shot with an RPG. Do the math. Do that fucking math. Okay, so then they sent Christopher Stevens and the CIA team there to recover those stingers, to get those fucking weapons out of their hands, because they were starting to use them to cause U.S. casualties. Okay, and all of a sudden, you get Benghazi. Christopher Stevens dies a horrible death. You lose Tyrone Woods and the other guy, I can't remember his name, and Smith, the IT guy. Tyrone Woods and God, I can't remember the other guy's name. Sorry, but we lose 4 lives at Benghazi. Okay, and the arming of ISIS, which that's what the purpose of Benghazi was, to ship the arms out of Libya to to basically Syria, to arm their new terror army. Okay, that they're going to use to help fuel and fund their endless wars. See how it goes? See how that works? Okay, well, it got interrupted because the same Arabs stepped out of line. Hey there, Demetrius, over on YouTube. So the Arabs stepped out of line and attacked, and you get that disaster. ISIS was not yet fully armed. So what did they do? They arranged Glenn Doherty. Thank you, Gene. Actually, I wish okay. Tyrone Woods, Glenn Doherty, Stephen Smith, and then Ambassador Stevens all lost their lives uselessly, but that's why they were there. Okay, so it's really important people understand that their arming of their new terror toy army, their new terror army, was incomplete. Okay, so what did they do? All of a sudden, for no reason whatsoever, a entire Iraqi military unit, a brigade, whatever it was, like 400, 500 guys, abandons their equipment in the desert and just run away. And ISIS overnight becomes the most well-equipped terror army in the world. That was not an accident. They were ordered to do that by Barack Obama and Hillary Clinton. And you're going to be able to read their fucking emails. Sorry. You're going to be able to read their fucking emails where they were typing all of this shit out and arranging it. Because one of the things these dumb fucks didn't understand is that there are actual spooks in this world who don't fucking work for them. They work for the American people. Boo, motherfucker. Boo. Okay? There are people who actually work for this country and its people. People who have been very, very angry at what's been happening for a very long time. Okay? And wonder of wonders, Donald Trump formed Space Force in 2018, but here's something you might not know. Every agency and every unit that comprised Space Force when he created it pre-existed 2016. They've been around for over a decade. All of these disparate units, military units and intelligence agencies, they all pre-existed the creation of Space Force. And what if, now I'm just, going on a little thought experiment here. What if Space Force, or a unit, military, a DIA, a Defense Intelligence Agency, or NSA, National Security Agency, what if they were reading these fuckers' mail because somebody was also monitoring their screens and recording as they were communicating with one another for years, doing things like shit in the Ukraine, the Maidan revolution that killed how many ethnic Russians, the ethnic cleansing that killed how many civilians? I'll never get over that, by the way. That while the Azov, who are not neo-anything, they are Nazis, while the Azov were brutally murdering 15,000 Russian civilians, providing provocation of Palooza all day long. And when Putin would complain about it, people would say, "Ah, you're just crazy, Putin. There are no Nazis in Ukraine. You're just a liar." Biolabs, excuse me, biolabs on your border. No, you're just crazy, Putin. You're just making that shit up. You're just making it up. You're going to read D class. And then all the people for all these years that have been telling you that, crazy Putin had no cause or provocation going into Ukraine, you wait. And no, it's not going to work like that. So, once again, let me get back to my original point because I love to go on tangents. Donald Trump right now made peace with Iran. It goes into effect today. He's going to read at some point, if he hasn't done it already, every page and every snippet of the peace agreement. He's going to read it live so these people can't do any editing or recorded shenanigans on him. Well, he learned his lesson last term. He learned his lesson on that. He does. You notice he does everything live. If he makes an executive order, he signs it live on camera. Have you noticed that? Unlike Joe Biden, the auto pen, he does it live. And today, he's bringing about peace, and he's putting out a major fire, a regional threat, actually, a regional threat that has existed in the Middle East for 47 years. He just brought it to an end, untied that Gordian knot. There are attempts right now. People are saying that Moscow's being hit right now by Ukraine. Those people are signing their death warrants right now. Those people are insane. Okay, the warmongers are trying to keep the chaos and the death going. Peace does them no good. Peace doesn't do them any good, and they are bound and determined that peace shall not break out. When it comes to Iran, you're going to find out, thanks to the Gulf Cooperation Council and Trump's strong allies in the region that are backing him up, Gulf Cooperation Council, the ability of the usual suspects to sabotage this peace is going to be inadequate to accomplishing that. They're not going to be able to sabotage the peace. The same way they tried to sabotage the peace in Afghanistan with Abbey Gate. The same way they tried to bolster their endless wars in the Middle East by the creation and the rise of ISIS. Now, let me say that one of the things people call me an OG Anon. I was Anon for many years, several years, until my brother became, he started out Grumpy Cat. My brother actually started writing for Breitbart's Big Journalism. And then he could not remain anonymous. And because he couldn't remain anonymous, I couldn't remain anonymous. So I got dragged kicking and screaming into the light. I didn't necessarily like that. I did my best work anonymously. Now I do what I can, openly. I do my best. But people need to understand that 2014, the rise of ISIS, that 21-day murder and rape caravan to Syria nearly crushed my soul. Because that 21-day caravan of rape and murder across the desert of Iraq, murdering and people raping girls, children every day, all the atrocities they committed, that caravan was not hit by one solitary motherfucking airstrike. Not one. And you can call me a lot of different things, but you'll never be able to call me stupid. Okay? And I sat there with my soul dribbling out of my eyes, understanding in my bones what that meant. It took years for me to reconcile and understand what happened. That an Iraqi army was ordered to abandon its arms in the field, leaving them to ISIS. And that was how Barack Obama and Hillary Clinton and all of their fucking the people they work with, the people they work for, the demonic oligarchs, royal and banking bloodlines, that is how they finished rearming ISIS or arming ISIS. That's how they did it. Benghazi failed on them, so they had an Iraqi unit flee in cowardly fashion. That's how they did it. What? I'm doing a show. Leave me alone. Okay. So, yeah, welcome to my show. I'm getting ready to get started. Let's see here. Oh my God, what the fuck is this? This is not going to improve my mood, everybody. Hold on. What in the absolute fuck is this? New Hampshire's first transgender elected representative, Stacey Lawton, sentenced to 33 years in prison for sexual exploitation of children. Yep. And for those of you that don't know, Colonel Roxanne Towner Watkins is a good friend of mine, and my brother Brian Cates, retired U.S. Air Force colonel. She's basically the go-to on Operation Gladio. That's basically the intelligence wing. Our intelligence agencies use a global crime syndicate under the guise of Operation Gladio to pacify native populations so they may be more easily and ruthlessly and mercilessly exploited by the demonic and banking bloodlines. And they do this. So, in other words, our CIA, you'll look on an organizational chart that says they work for the president. No, they don't. They don't work for the president. They work for the Epstein class. And their job, believe it or not, you'll say, well, they're not allowed to operate domestically on U.S. soil. Hey, you dumb son of a bitch. Everything they do globally is to oppress us, to pacify us, so we may be more easily and ruthlessly and mercilessly exploited. So God Saad, who is now a best-selling author for several weeks in a row, Suicidal Empathy, is finding out he's going to have to leave an incredibly large chunk of change with the corrupt Canadian government before he is allowed to leave Canada. It's called an exit tax to leave Quebec. Okay? And Colonel Watkins says that's because you're following the Fabians' rules. They form trusts in foreign countries, move all their assets into their children's name, and then set up a resort in Jamaica. That's how they get around that shit. Okay? So let me just go ahead, and there are amazing people who will tell you that America is a racist country and Donald Trump is a racist dipshit and everything else. Never listen to those people. Not a single American flag was in evidence at the opening of what Brian loves to call, that's my brother, Brian Cates, loves to call Barack Obama the Manchurian Candidate at his library's opening. And these fucking people literally do not see themselves as being Americans. Okay, and I'm not going to repeat any of that because I don't want to get canceled. But my brother he cuts Obama no slack. Let me just say, everything I just told you about the rise of ISIS, I literally mean that. I'm going to be a little more polite about it, but this guy deserves nothing less than charges of treason with the appropriate punishment for what he's done to our country. Elon Musk is saying stuff. I think people need to really pay attention. In the future, 1 trillion times times $1 trillion will be spent on making antimatter to travel to other star systems. And I'm like, who the fuck is he talking to here? Before you instantly dismiss what is said here as crazy talk, remember this is the same guy who said just 5.5 years ago started talking about catching and reusing the same rockets, and people thought he was nuts. And he already did that. Yeah, so what people need to know is I've often said this about Elon Musk. Elon Musk is a ward, WARD, a ward of the Trump family. I believe he was taken under their wing at a very young age, and he is being provided Tesla technology that the Trump family has had in its keeping since the late 1940s. I do believe that. And that the future of this world is going to be heralded in many, in a great deal, in many instances, it's going to be heralded by a man named Elon Musk in honor of a man named Nikola Tesla, who died destitute, forgotten, and besmirched in a hotel room in New York City. He was one of a kind. If you've studied Nikola Tesla, his life, his amazing life, his amazing accomplishments, and then you look how he ended up and you ask yourself, what happened? Well, the answer is the demonic and royal, the banking, demonic royal and banking bloodlines absolutely made sure he was destroyed. They destroyed him. They didn't just out and out murder him, but they took the bright shining mind that he represented, and they caged it until it passed away, and then they tried to steal everything. They weren't necessarily successful. What you're going to find out is about the last 150 years, we've spent easily 100 years in status. We haven't been allowed to advance. We could have so much more in the way of technology than we have now. There's been a lot of suppressed tech for the last century. You're seeing some of it through Elon Musk and what he is now bringing forward, because the old guard is being removed. Yep, they're everywhere. Former Planned Parenthood director commits suicide after police raid his home and child porn case. Is this something that just happened? Or, because again, usually I'll read these and it happened like 2 or 4 years ago. Here we go. Yeah, April 14th, 2023. Yep, I remember seeing this back in the day. Okay. He committed suicide just after a police raid. He was done. So this is posted. It's got a postmark today, June 18th, but no, this actually happened 3 years ago. Okay, I actually hate stuff like this. You need to get, okay. There's plenty of modern day cases. What happened here? Spartanburg, South Carolina. What's going on here? What's going on? So, South Carolina's Sheriff Chuck Wright, for over 20 years, this guy played the tough, no nonsense law and order sheriff, strutting around Spartanburg like he was untouchable while he was busy paying his no-show cousin a full deputy-style salary for roughly 2 decades, so the guy could run his own construction business instead of working. Stealing more than $28,000 from the benevolence fund that was supposed to help deputies, Jesus, and their families in their darkest moments, funerals, financial. Oh, this is lovely. He and his chaplain buddy treated it like their personal ATM, stealing 147 prescription painkillers from the department's own drug take-back program for his own use. This wasn't a desperate one time mistake, it was years of calculated, arrogant corruption from the top cop in the country. It didn't just break the law, he made a mockery of it while wearing the badge and cashing taxpayer checks. 33 to 41 month guideline range is lenient for somebody who spent 2 decades abusing public trust. The fact he still has people defending him is pathetic. He did not serve the people, he served himself and got caught. The real law finally showed up. Okay, so basically, he literally had a cousin or whoever this was on salary, a no show cousin. And then Colonel Watkins wants to know, what did that cousin have on this dude? I think, yeah, it can't just be blood. There's got to be something specific. Uh, yep, talked about that guy. Just got arrested. Stacey Marie Lawton's 33 years in prison. And Brian says it's like an evil spell was cast over this country by an elite Luciferian Epstein class has been broken or something. Bum, 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 bum. I'm just skimming the news. This is so weird. I don't know. Yeah, that's got to be photoshopped. Okay, Bill Pulte. This is his first actual day as Director of National Intelligence. And he's already beginning to identify, he's going to Scaramucci the whole fucking lot of them. The entire intelligence community. He's there to Scaramucci the living fuck out of them, and I'm here for that. Okay, they're petrified of this guy. If people paid attention to what he did, well, first of all, I remember the late, and may he rest in peace, Scott Adams, talk about Bill Pulte for years. Talk him up, talk him down, talk about him as a genius of thinking outside of the box when it comes to the America's housing crisis. Actual entrepreneurial, interesting ideas on how to resolve our housing crisis. And this is a guy, you know, the Pulte homes and all that, but this guy really thought outside of the box. So when President Trump tapped him to become the head of Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac, which he's going to still wear that hat, by the way, he went in there and he absolutely cleaned house. You remember, it's Pulte who ended up getting Schiff and what was that, Fannie, whatever her name is, all of those corrupt DAs, that one in New York, for mortgage fraud. He was the one that did that. For some reason, these people are really scared of him. They're literally trying to make alliances across party lines, trying to block and keep him out, which I find absolutely delicious. Okay, a lot of negativity there. Yep. Uh, we're finding out that Muslims look at Western girls as their booty, literally their booty, and that's not going to change. What we need to do is change their residence from here to the fuck out of here. Okay? So Thais de Escuffon is a young lady. She just got sentenced, a suspended sentence, so she didn't end up going to prison. Well, her crime, this is a picture of the Tunisian man who broke into her home and raped her. And the reason she got a 6 month suspended sentence and £1,000 fine is she spoke about the fact that women in France or Europe really are no longer safe because of men like this, these immigrants coming in. She was arrested for inciting racial hatred or something like that. People are finding out that you if you allow these people, they will turn you into second class citizens right in your own country. The death of Henry Nowak proves that. Oh, the new Trump Force One. Yes, that's right. The old Air Force One has been retired, and we now have a new Trump Force One.
We had it all painted up, and these are the new colors: red, white, and blue. And we like the baby blue, but it was time for a change. And this is the sleekest line. Everything was designed
Oh,
good. It was my taste, I will say. I like. He said, "What color do you like?" I said, "I like the color of the American flag." Right? That makes sense. So we have that, and all of the planes in the fleet are being changed into this look, which is a much better look and a more appropriate look. We had it all painted up, and these are the new colors: red, white, and blue. And we
okay.
like the baby
Out of
blue,
position.
but it was time for a change. And this is the sleekest line. Everything was designed good. It was my taste, I will
I
say. I
love
like.
the guitar
He said,
riff
"What color do you like?" I
from
said, "I like
Top
the
Gun.
color of the American flag." Right? That makes sense. So we have that, and all of the planes in the fleet are being changed into this look, which is a much better look and a more appropriate look.
Il Donaldo Trumpo. Yep, some people say that this is Trump's burner account. I have no idea. It's clearly somebody that's very close to Trump. Might even be Barron, for all I know. It could actually be Trump. Okay, he's now signing the mechanical panel of the state of the art Air Force One. I didn't realize. Okay, that's not a chalkboard. That is an actual panel right from the belly of Air Force One, the new Air Force One. How cool is that? 4 or 5 presidencies from now, there will be young people working on this plane who will be seeing that whenever they drop this panel to work on it. That's neat. Look at that. That's a moment in history, folks. Air Force One. So this is from Ivanka, President Trump in the White House. There's Kai. I believe that's his granddaughter, Kai, over there. And he is basically receiving his cake. This is the actual cake. I mean, there's been a bunch of AI created images of Trump, having this massive 80th birthday, 80th birthday cake. But this is the actual cake that was presented to him at the White House. Hooey. Yes, Brian's going to cover this. Okay, I'm going to end with this. So I thank everybody for coming out and watching me firing on all cylinders when it comes to YouTube, Rumble, and X. I'm going to have to do some adjustments on X. Otherwise, I'm going to get shit canned immediately. I didn't even think it would work today. But thank you for watching. Okay, serious question. Am I the only journalist in America that remembers that this happened? We were all shown that Hillary had but one server being utilized on a secret email communications network. Remember, I just explained to you how that worked. They would type out, they would share screens using software. You're able to see their Gmail draft and they're typing back and forth. And you're able to see what they're typing, but they would never send the emails because that would leave a record. What they did was that they would then delete the email draft, and they thought that covered their behinds. Okay, it later came out, despite furious denials and gaslighting, that other Obama administration officials, including all the cabinet officials, were using non government email addresses in that off the books server network to talk to each other. Obama himself was using a fake name off the books email address to communicate with Clinton and the others in that hidden comms network about stuff. This is why Comey and the FBI had to ensure Hillary was not prosecuted for the repeated, glaring, repetitious exposure of classified materials up to and including special access program material. in that server network. If they prosecuted her, the entire Obama cabinet would have to be prosecuted also. And Obama would have utterly been exposed in 2015 and 2016, well before he left office. Now, remember, all of these images of Obama shadowing, literally shadowing Trump during his first term. Wherever Trump was doing a visit, Obama would show up afterwards. What was he doing? He was working on behalf of the Epstein class, trying to mitigate the harm Trump was doing. To this very day, the stuff Obama, Clinton, Biden, Loretta Lynch, Comey were discussing in their emails on those hidden servers while using those fake names and email addresses has remained one of the most carefully guarded secrets in the history of the Western world. It is my hope that one day, someday, we find out. And remember, what's John Solomon working on? What's he getting ready to leave Just the News to go do? We find out what was so secretive and important that all the top Obama White House officials had to create their own off the books comms networks to discuss it among themselves. Indicting Hillary would have led directly to Obama and his cabinet. They could not allow that. That's why Comey said, "Oh, we're going to have to let her go." Now look at Comey's scream. Let me do this again before I leave because I'm working on something. Let me do this. I'm going to drop that. So bear with me. It's going to take me a moment. I want people to appreciate what I'm about to show you again. Some of you have seen this before. It's no surprise. I played it several times recently. Okay, I'm going to have to resize this like I have to do every frickin' time.
Well, they're back.
Yeah. Shut up, James. Shut up, man. Shut up, man. Okay, hold on. Presentations. Dot screen share. Start screen share. Okay, for those of you that aren't familiar with this was okay. This is James Comey. Now, he found the seashells 8647. He found the seashells last year, supposedly on the beach. Okay, we all know that's bullshit. Okay, he's sending a message. He's sending a comm. Now, he's not using a secret Gmail server to do this. He's doing this openly because he's that fucking desperate. Okay, I want you to understand. He was indicted last year. It lasted, the indictment was a fart in the wind. Judge Boasberg and a corrupt federal judiciary instantly dismissed it. They instantly dismissed the indictment. And then Lindsay Halligan, the U.S. attorney that brought the indictment, was removed from her post. Okay, don't think that was an accident. So you need to understand, this is Comey after the second indictment by the DOJ. This one's going to stick. What does he do? What is he doing? Okay, he delivers this message. I want you to remember. Now, remember that secret email server where these people were coordinating the overthrow of Ukraine, the bio labs globally, the rise of ISIS, How many people did that kill? 9/11, they were coordinating 9/11 previously. Okay, I want you to understand what you're listening to, because everything you've seen recently, okay, within a week of Comey being indicted, he released this video. 8647. Now you can go to Washington D.C. There are people stenciling 8647 everywhere. Everywhere. Anything you're seeing with the regards of 8647, you're looking right into the corrupt, demonic face of the assholes who are doing that.
Well, they're back. This time about a picture of seashells on a North Carolina beach.
Yeah, it's just a bunch of seashells that says, "Kill Trump, get him the fuck out of my hair. You better do this and you better do it quick. I need him gone." Hey, that whole White House Correspondents' Dinner, that guy, who did the run, the Naruto run with the shotgun. Okay, well, where the fuck did that come from? UFC 250. Hey, it seems like they're really dipping in to a larger and larger pool of mind raped MK Ultra slaves to try to get their shit accomplished. Doesn't it?
Year ago. And this won't be the end of it. But nothing has changed with me.
Nothing's changed. We're still, we're the insiders. Donald Trump's the outsider. We're DC. We're the real DC. He's not. We're going to outlast him. We're gonna push him out just like we did last time. Oh yeah, nothing's gonna change. Stick with me, everybody.
I'm still innocent. I'm still not afraid.
Yeah, that's why you're making the video, because you're not afraid. Is that right, James? Jim? Can I call you Jim? I'd like to call him Jim at his execution. Okay, yeah, Jim's not worried at all. That's why he's making this video.
And I still believe in the independent federal judiciary, so let's go.
Oh, really? The independent federal judiciary that's been bending over backwards trying to stop Trump and is continually, all they're able to do is delay him. They're not able to stop a damn thing. They're not able to stop, they're not able to stop nothing. Okay? But it's not from a lack of trying. Okay? The federal judiciary is on my side. That's what he's saying. They're on my side.
But it's really important that all of us remember this is not who we are as a country.
He's saying we. What does he mean by we? We. He's using the imperial we.
That all of us remember this is not who we are as a country. This is not how the Department of Justice is supposed to be.
Yeah, they had it all set up just the way they like it. And now Donald Trump and Pam Bondi and Kash Patel are fucking it all up.
And the good news is we get closer every day to restoring those values.
We.
Keep the faith.
Keep the faith. Keep the faith, And I like to point out that I love to post 9/11, that image from the Q drops. It basically shows the Twin Towers. One tower is James Comey treason, and the other is John Brennan treason. So James Comey saying, keep the faith. What he's actually saying is, what we did. You know what we did? We did that. You know what we did? Do you remember what we did? Well, right now my ass is swinging in the breeze, and you better come button it up. Okay, because I ain't going down alone. You better do something. So those of you that are wondering why 8647 is appearing anywhere, I just showed you why. That's Comey and the old guard saying, stop Trump. Somebody do it. Somebody's going to have to do it. Okay? And, but they're going to fail. They're going to fail miserably. Watch the next 72 hours. Watch who's going to express dissatisfaction and anger that peace has broken out between the United States of America and Iran. Watch very carefully. Thank you for watching. Appreciate each and every one of you. Let's see, where was on YouTube. This is my first YouTube. It doesn't tell me how many people are. Oh, there we go. 6 people are watching. Okay, thank you, folks that are watching on YouTube. Appreciate each and every one of you. There are 109 watching on Rumble, and I don't know how many are watching on X. Let me do a quick run to see how many are watching today's Thunderdome. 1008. Hi. Okay. Oh gosh. I broke 1,000. That's unusual. It's been a while since I did that. Okay. Thank you everybody for watching. I won't be doing a chill flight tonight. I got some stuff to work on. Have a great weekend, everyone. And remember, shepherd your interests with a terrible resolve. Take care.